broadcasting live with coverage you can count on. KSLA News 12 starts with breaking news.
Tonight, we continue to follow two big stories in Shreveport. Police are still looking for answers after they found a couple dead inside a burning car this morning. This after they allegedly gave a man a ride. Plus, just hours ago, Shreveport Police Chief Alan Crump announced his plans to retire from the force. Chief Investigative Reporter Stacey Cameron joins me now. Stacey, you just talked with Mayor Ollie Tyler. What's her reaction to Chief Crump's retirement?
Well, Marie, the mayor told me she was completely surprised by the decision this morning. She said Chief Alan Crump actually called her to inform her that he was retiring effectively November 15th next week on Thursday. She said prior to that, he had actually met, as he does every week, with the top brass in the department, telling them first of his decision, then calling her office. She said he hasn't even submitted a letter of retirement, but she said it was entirely his decision to retire. She said he had been thinking about it for a while and had actually been talking to her about it. I asked her if she had tried to talk him out of it. She said absolutely not. It was his decision. He had made it on his own. She wanted people to know that, in her opinion, he took on this job at a time when crime was spiking, when there was concern in the nation of violence between police and citizens, and commended him for his work and his service. Of course, he's a 26-year veteran of the department. He rose to the rank of lieutenant before being appointed by Mayor Tyler 2 years ago as chief. At the end of this month actually would have been his 2-year anniversary. But I did press her on the question. It's been controversial, his tenure as chief, as we've seen homicide rates increase dramatically the last 3 years. I asked her, did the perception of the public, city council, and the media on how this chief had done his job play any decision, in her opinion, in his decision to retire? Let's listen.
He asked that question. He didn't ask it to me, but he did ask the question, you know, is that perception going to cause, the citizens in this city not to vote for a mayor that's working hard and making, some things happen in this city? Yes, he asked those questions, but in the end, he had to make the decision.
So the mayor talking there about the idea whether or not I had asked her, did she believe, or did the chief believe at this point he had become a political weight to her candidacy? Of course, she's in a tough re-election bid for mayor now, the runoff in just a little more than 3 weeks. She came in second place on the Tuesday election. So now she said the next step is to look for appointing an interim chief. She said she was so caught off guard by it this morning that she hadn't even thought of who that interim replacement may be. But the deputy chief, she said, would take over in short term next week if she hasn't decided who will be the replacement. And then after that, of course, it's a 90-day period in which candidates will come forward. They will be given the test, and a new chief could be appointed as soon as 90 days from now. Reporting live in downtown, Stacey Cameron, back to you.
All right, tonight at 6, coverage on Chief Crump's retirement. Stacey Cameron will have more live coverage throughout the evening. Plus, tonight, Shreveport City Councilman Jerry Bowman will join Doug and Dominique live in the studio for reaction on Chief Crump's retirement. We're continuing to follow a horrifying story now out of Shreveport this afternoon as homicide detectives process the scene of a car fire after finding 2 bodies inside. Jeff Farrell is live where that burning car was discovered early this morning in a driveway. And Jeff, what's the latest on this investigation?
Well, my photographer and I were here a couple hours ago when homicide detectives returned back to the scene. They were looking in this area where the burned out car was engulfed in flames when fire crews first arrived. Now, we did see the homicide detectives taking away a few bags, but we should also point out, as for the neighbors around here, well, they're still in a bit of shock.
I was watching TV and I heard a big boom. I thought a tree fell down or something until I heard the sirens coming.
Well, when neighbor Chelsea Davis walked outside, she saw what appeared to be a house fire, at least from her vantage point. But police say it was a white Kia Forte sedan engulfed in flames in the carport of this abandoned, boarded-up house at Pennock Street and San Jacinto Avenue. It was only after firefighters put out the flames were the bodies of a man and woman found inside the car. For Davis, it's extra motivation to move away.
Bro, I've been planning on going back to California no matter what. Like, I like this area, but it's not for me. This is not the place to live in Louisiana. Not out here.
Neighbor Chelsea Davis says that she was already thinking about moving back, and it had a lot more to do with the job that she wanted to get back at her home in California. But this only has precipitated or sped up that whole process. So look for that to happen for her, and maybe even some others that live around here are getting a little more scared. Back here live, we should also point out that investigators are looking for any kind of clues as well. Hopefully, someone in the public may be able to help. You're urged to call police or Crime Stoppers at area code 318-673-7373. As for identification of the bodies, we are told that the coroner is now going through the autopsy results, and we should know more soon. Reporting live here in Shreveport, Jeff Farrell, KSLA News 12.
New at 5, a gnarly 5-vehicle crash in Texarkana, Arkansas leaves one driver recovering tonight. Police say the driver allegedly lost control of his car, then plowed into 4 other parked vehicles on a used car lot near Beach Street. Right now, the driver is in a Texarkana hospital. His condition has not yet been released. Police are still investigating that crash at this hour.
KSLA First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Coldest night of the fall so far expected around the Arklatex tonight. These temperatures, though, could dip even more the middle of next week. We'll touch more on that in your forecast in just a bit. As it's going, though, it is going to be quite cold here to the north. Upper 20s, Texarkana to DeQueen, maybe some mid-20s over into McCurtain County there in southeast Oklahoma. For the rest of the Arklatex, mostly into the middle 30s. But again, by far the coldest night of the fall so far, with a freeze in some areas and scattered frost possible elsewhere. And we'll talk a bit more about that on the way in just a few minutes. Here's your current readings, which are still on the cool side despite some late-day sun. Only 50 in Idabel, 51 in Mount Pleasant, 52 Texarkana. We got 54 in Shreveport, Mansfield, as well as Hemp Hill, Texas. Here's your forecast through the evening hours. Headed out to a high school football game. You'll need to bundle up by 7 o'clock. We're already back into the upper 40s, and we'll continue to slowly drop into the mid-40s by 10 o'clock tonight. And with a north breeze running 5 to 10 miles per hour, it's going to feel even colder out there, so make sure you're prepared if you're going to be outdoors this evening. Back in just a few moments, we'll talk more about this chill and how long it's going to hang out coming up in your forecast.
New at 5, Dez Bryant, the newest Saint in New Orleans, may not suit up for the black and gold this season. Today, Bryant was injured in practice and needed teammates to help him off the field. Now, the team fears Dez may have torn his Achilles, which would end his season. He is expected to get an MRI, and we will update you when those results are in. Tonight, police released new details on Ian Long, the man accused of shooting and killing 12 people inside a California bar. Police say Long had a run-in with law enforcement earlier this year. Other reports show Long posted on Facebook near the time of the shooting, saying in part, quote, "I hope people call me insane." Police claim Long took his life right after the shooting. Right now, they're still working to learn a motive. Well, do more for active shooter situations. That's the message experts are giving business owners tonight. This comes after 4 shootings and so-called soft targets have happened in the last 2 weeks. Those places typically have little or no security. And tonight, Omar Villafranca shows us how a Texas landmark is preparing for potential violence.
It's Thursday night at Billy Bob's, a Fort Worth landmark that bills itself as the world's largest honky-tonk.
We do bull riding every Friday and Saturday night.
Chris Knowles is Billy Bob's manager. He says about 6,000 people show up on weekends for a big concert, which makes security a chief concern.
Before a person enters the building, they're already looked at 2 to 3 times.
You have surveillance cameras as well?
We do, and then they pass 2 checkpoints where they're eyed by individuals as well.
And despite a presence of 75 security guards that includes Fort Worth police officers, Billy Bob's goes one step further with its own employees.
Do you guys have active shooter training?
We do. All our management staff is trained on active shooter procedures.
It seems like an odd question, but is that the time we live in?
Unfortunately, yes. And also, unfortunately, you can never protect yourself 100%.
There are active shooter incidents in bars around our country every weekend.
Robert Smith trains security personnel at venues nationwide and says soft targets like Billy Bob's need to have a plan in place.
There's no change in the training for a nightclub, a bar, a sports venue, a church, a synagogue, and if the plan is to duck and hide, duck and hide. And if your plan is to run to the nearest exit, get out.
After the shooting at Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks, California Wednesday night, police said that kind of thinking may have saved lives.
They ran out of back doors, they broke windows, they went through windows, they hid up in the attic, they hid in the bathroom. So unfortunately, our young people or people at nightclubs have learned that this may happen.
For patrons at Billy Bob's, knowing the venue is prepared makes all the difference, especially for Graham Weatherspoon, who brought his kids to play a couple rounds of pool.
Especially for my kids. You know, for myself, it's a different story, but for my kids, you know, I want them to be as safe as possible.
In Texas, you can open carry or conceal carry a handgun if you have a permit. But it's worth noting that places that serve booze like Billy Bob's do not allow you to bring the gun inside. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Fort Worth, Texas.
We are gearing up for a frost and a freeze tonight across a good part of the Arklatex. I'll show you how long this cold snap's going to last on the way in your forecast.
And seeing the beauty in disability, tonight how one Louisiana woman plans to empower thousands more through a pageant and powerful message. We start with breaking news out of Natchitoches at this hour. Hannah Barker has been indicted on first-degree murder. She is the mother accused in the death of her infant son. Her child was found with burn marks earlier this year. Again, we have just learned in our KSLA News 12 newsroom, the mother of that infant child, Hannah Barker, has been indicted on first-degree murder. We'll have the very latest on this story for you on our KSLA News 12 app and coming up on KSLA News 12 at 6.
KSLA First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle.
Well, good afternoon again, everyone. That first freeze of the season, this is usually about the time of year it happens, and it is going to be happening for some of you overnight tonight and for probably the rest of the Arklatex by the middle of next week. First surge of cold air, though, in the process of moving in, and that's going to drop temperatures to near or a little bit below freezing across southwest Arkansas, northeast Texas, and up into portions of southeastern Oklahoma. To the south of here, in and around the I-20 corridor, we'll say 20, 30 miles north or south of Interstate 20. We're going to be looking at probably some light frost out there. So take your precautions. The outdoor plants, you need to bring those in, at least the ones in the pots. The ones in the ground, if you want to keep those around for a little while longer, you'll need to throw a blanket or a sheet over those overnight tonight before you go to bed, just to hold in enough heat to keep them alive. Here's your freeze warnings in effect again, all of southwest Arkansas, McCurtain County in Oklahoma, and from Cass, Morris, Titus County up to the north. That's where we're expecting to see temperatures again dipping to near or below the freezing mark, with numbers pretty close elsewhere, but not quite, down to 32 degrees. After the cold start, though, in the morning, it's actually not going to be too bad of a Saturday, although you will need to keep a jacket on throughout the day. Here's your forecast hour by hour from the KSLA First Alert weather app. 8 o'clock temperature, 37 degrees. By 11, will be around 43. But even tomorrow afternoon, lots of sunshine and just a few afternoon clouds in a few spots. It's going to be a struggle to warm up. Temperatures for the most part upper 40s, maybe some highs in the low 50s. That's well off of average for this time of year, with average highs here in almost mid-November still well into the 60s to near 70 degrees. We're not going to be any close to those sort of numbers again anytime soon. Got a little rain toward the end of the weekend as well. Tomorrow again will be a dry day, but by Sunday, Future Track continuing to show the possibility for some light rain and showers as we take you through the day on Sunday. So just something to keep in mind, particularly for Veterans Day events going on Sunday afternoon. Might want to have rain gear just to be on the safe side, especially I-20 and point southward. And this would be the beginning of another rain event that will come in for us. It appears Sunday night into Monday. Midnight Sunday night, rain expanding across the Arklatex. May even get some rumbles of thunder as well. This will continue throughout much of the day Monday. And look at what's back up here to the north and to the west. That is snow that they could see maybe around Oklahoma City on Monday. We're not expecting any of that, as it looks like the moisture moves out before the colder air comes in Monday night. But it is going to be a fairly soggy start to the work week, and with temperatures probably only in the 40s to around 50 and rain in the forecast Monday, it's going to be kind of a raw day to start off next week. Here's a look at your highs tomorrow. Coolest numbers in the north: 48 Texarkana, 49 Idabel, 47 in Hope. We'll go around 52 in Shreveport, around 51 in Coshada, and near 50 tomorrow afternoon over in Center, Texas. That First Alert 7-day forecast remains a chilly one on into next week. Tomorrow, again, we've got 52 around here, maybe a few spots in the upper 40s. But I tell you what, if you're an Arkansas or LSU fan and you're going to the game in Fayetteville tomorrow evening, prepare to bundle up. Look at these temperatures. At the kickoff, 37 degrees, halftime 34, and heading into the fourth quarter, temperatures will be back near freezing there in northwestern Arkansas. For us, we stay cool through basically the next 7 days. Only around 50 Sunday, Monday, with again those rain chances coming on in. Monday night into Tuesday morning, maybe a freeze for some parts of the Arklatex again. And by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, I think everyone sees 32 degrees or lower for the first time this fall season. Those daytime highs Tuesday, Wednesday, hey, we got lots of sunshine, but don't be fooled. It's only going to be in the 40s for those daytime highs.
The sunshine looks good. That 28 on there. Whew.
Not so much.
Excitingly cold.
Yeah, but hey, folks are waiting to do the fire pits, turn on the fireplace for the first time. You're going to get your chance in the next few days.
Yes, that's what we like to hear, Jeff. Thank you.
You bet.
A South Louisiana woman is taking center stage for an empowering cause. Baton Rouge resident Karen Roy holds a very special title, one she never anticipated but couldn't be prouder of. Tonight, as Christian Picos reports, she asks women from across the state to compete in an encouraging pageant for the title themselves.
Baton Rouge native Karen Roy proudly wears a crown she never anticipated.
I'm still honored. I don't take the opportunity for granted. I try to use this opportunity to the fullest extent that I can for the time that I have it.
Her stunning smile and bubbly personality is enough to win over any judge. But how she became royalty is another story, and one that she's reminded of every single day.
I was shot in an armed robbery when I was 19. I was a student at LSU, held up in a parking lot of a blues place randomly, and the guy came up from behind me with a gun, shot me in the back.
Karen was paralyzed from the waist down. Doctors told her she'd never walk again.
I was scared to death.
Rather than seeing her disability as an unfair life sentence, Karen decided to speak up for others and share a powerful message.
Standing is important for people who are able-bodied, so why wouldn't it be important for people with disabilities?
But she didn't feel like her message was being heard.
Nobody really was listening to me. I was saying it to physicians, I've been saying it to insurance companies and to individuals for a long time.
Which inspired her to take center stage, literally. Karen was crowned Miss Wheelchair Louisiana of 2018, a title which amplified her mission to advocate for others with disabilities.
It gave me the opportunity to speak with people, large groups across the state, to get the word out about a message that was really important to me that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do otherwise.
Karen's success didn't stop there. For the first time in Miss Wheelchair Louisiana history, Karen was then crowned Miss Wheelchair America.
I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. as the national title holder and speak with the medical director of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid.
Karen's hoping her empowering message inspires other women in wheelchairs to consider working to become the next Miss Wheelchair Louisiana.
It's an amazing opportunity, and yes, it takes a little extra work, and most of us are really busy, and a lot of people have children and work, but this is a volunteer organization that promotes women with disabilities who are articulate, who have something to say, a message to get out there, and it's been the opportunity of a lifetime for me.
A pageant with a purpose, a crown with a cause. Reporting from Shreveport, Christian Picos, KSLA News 12.
This year's Miss Wheelchair Louisiana competition is December 1st at the Baton Rouge Rehabilitation Hospital. You can read this story right now on our KSLA News 12 app to see if you're eligible to compete. We'll be right back. Well, it's your last chance to take in the State Fair of Louisiana this weekend, and it looks like it's going to be a nice weekend to do so, but you will definitely need to grab that jacket. The fair is open until 11 o'clock tonight, and from 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. tomorrow, and from 10 until 10 on Sunday. You'll want to check out the Arklatex Weekend app for fair prices and other events happening for the whole family this weekend. And in case you missed it, in case you haven't seen this incredible video yet, the Airline High School Band is going viral for their performance of the viral Baby Shark song. The band played the song at a game about 2 weeks ago, but this Facebook video is really picking up, spreading across the interwebs. It has about 1 million views right now. Lots of excitement for Airline's marching band out there. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I recognize the beginning because it kind of sounds like the theme from Jaws, but beyond that, I have no idea what the Baby Shark song is.
Yeah, I've seen it all over the internet. Yes, I do know, but I bet you'll have that do in your head all night.
I will, yeah, all night long.
There you go.
We've got cold weather tonight, but check out next week, even colder. We'll talk about it coming up at 6.